Hey guys, do you stay awake at night wondering what can I do to modify my baits to make it look just a little bit different? To generate a few more bites? I do. Stick around, I'll show you some tricks that I came up with, although I don't claim to be the first, that may help you out. Cheap, alternative with lots of options. Stay tuned. So, in an effort to fish a Ned rig without an exposed hook, I started creating things like this, where you take a split ring and hook it to any hook that you want, and for a weight, just get a little bell weight. You can use 1/8 ounce or 1/4 ounce, or here's that's more 1/8 ounce. These right here I believe are 3/16, but that was working pretty well. Then I could skin hook the point to my Ned rig, and I wasn't getting them hooked or snagged on everything, because in my opinion, when you're throwing an open hook like that, you're just feeding the lake. So instead of feeding the lake, I came up with this idea, and it worked pretty darn well for me. But then I started thinking, hey, you know, I don't have to just put a Ned rig on this hook. What if I wanted to put something else on it? It's very similar to a wobble head, but in my opinion, I think I can come up with more options than most standard wobble heads at the time. Instead of putting a standard round bend worm hook on it, I thought, what if I put a straight shank worm hook on it? And it's actually very simple to do. The one piece of advice that I will give you is, when you're buying your split rings, spend money on the decent ones. These Spros and these Power, Owner, Pro Parts are strong split rings. Get a split ring, and these are the teardrop ones that I use occasionally, and that's what I've been working on tonight. But get a split ring that when you open it up and feed it on your hook, once you've got it through there, it snaps closed and doesn't stay open. There's so many that are made with really cheap materials, and once you snap them open, they stay open. They do not go back to the shape that you're wanting them to be. So once you have that on your hook, then put a bell weight on there of whatever size you want. And now you've got a hook on there and a bell weight on there, and you can tie that off, and this flows freely, so that when you're fishing it on the bottom, this hook still moves around like it does on a wobble head, but instead it's got the straight shank worm hook. So you can put a trick worm on there, and I think they work great. Now this isn't you know, the answer to getting the win in every tournament, but it's something just a little bit different, and it gives me more options than I would normally have, and I like doing it. Do I fish these all the time? No. I typically will fish these on a lightweight spinning reel with 8 to 10 pound test, maybe, mostly finesse. And another thing that I like to do with these is, here's one that's already rigged up, put it on a fluke. It works great bouncing this off the bottom with a fluke. You can put them on, put brush hogs on them. This is a baby brush hog. There's really too many options for me to even mention right now. But with the hook options that you have, I've even occasionally put pitching hooks on them. I love these VMC pitching hooks. They work great for me. And in another video, I will show you how I use these with the D-bomb and get that D-bomb so that you can fish with that all day long without tearing up your plastic so that the plastic continues to fall off the hook. But that's another topic. Anyway, simple concept. I may or may not be the one that came up with it. I can't imagine that I am. But there's a lot of options here. Something to think about, something to play with. Let me know your thoughts. And just remember, don't skimp on your split rings, whether they're the standard round ones or whether they're the teardrop. And the bell weights, they're all made about the same. And you can even go heavier than I do. I typically don't go any heavier than a quarter ounce. And most of the time I stay within 1/8 to a quarter. This here is 3/16, like I said, and probably my most used weight that I will rig up. But anyway, it's cheap, and you can get so many options without spending the money on a wobble head. Now I still fish wobble heads. I still love fishing a wobble head, but this just gives me a few more options and something to do while I'm sitting there watching mindless TV. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Post a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to click like and subscribe and tune in next time for whatever it is. Maybe I'll show you my secret, not so secret way of keeping a D-bomb on this hook right here and being able to fish it all day long without the plastic getting worn out and coming down off your hook and no glue involved. Anyway, again, thanks for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time to stop by. So I spent an hour or so putting this video together, and after watching it and doing some editing, I was wondering, what the hell am I talking about? Let me explain. When I put this video together, I start looking at this rig and I'm thinking, well, dang, this is kind of sort of just like a Tokyo rig. It just doesn't have the long wire coming down. It's going to bounce off the bottom. It's going to keep your bait free floating like that. And really the only difference is that 3-inch wire with maybe heavier weight depending on how you rig this up. So I don't know. I've never fished a Tokyo rig, but I did my homework today after thinking about this and looked at some videos on the Tokyo rig. Sure enough, it's very, very similar. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. I'm not calling this a Tokyo rig. I just think that there's quite a few similarities. Curious what your thoughts are on this. Post your thoughts, your comments, and let me know what you think. And again, thank you very much for tuning in, for taking the time to watch. And if you're enjoying this discussion and topics and my efforts here with these videos, you want to follow along for some more fun, hit me up with Instagram, connect, and you'll see some pictures and, just come along for the ride. Always appreciate your company, and thanks again for watching. Don't forget, fish more, stress less. God bless.